Beautiful. Alright, what's going on YouTube? Good morning. It's been for a lovely, beautiful swim there. Enjoying my morning in Thailand. You know, the markets in Thailand, the London session don't open till 1 p.m. So I'm just spending the morning chilling, relaxing, and then we're actually going on stream later. But purpose of today's video is I get a lot of questions about my journey and how I started travel trading. And I want to make today's video valuable for you guys and share with you guys how you can, you know, quit your job and pursue your dream and start to trade and travel and see the world. Like I always say on my Instagram, trade to live. That's the only reason we trade. I trade to live. I don't trade to sit in my room and, you know, make loads of money and be stressed and anxious and just sit in a dark room all day. That's completely pointless. What's the point of trading and making money if that's just your end goal, right? So, you know, like I say, you don't have to travel and trade, but this is for the ones that are interested in travel and trading. I want to show you guys how do you actually do it, what do you need to do, how much capital do you need. So that's the purpose of today's video. And this morning we're just going to chill. Yesterday we went around Bangkok. We explored some cool places. We went to Terminal 21, which is literally right there, which is pretty cool. Went there for some food, had a nice dinner, naughty desserts. And I've been in Thailand for about a month now, and tomorrow I'm heading home. So we're making the most of the last day in Bangkok, chilling and making a vlog for you guys. So it'll be in the day in the life mixed in with along my journey, how you go about pursuing this dream. And I want this video to purely to inspire you guys to do the exact same. I know some of you guys have taken the leap because you've been inspired by the videos that I've made on my travel trading journey, which is fucking incredible. So I want to continue to keep making these videos. So I'm going to take you guys through my day today, through the YouTube live stream, through the trading session, see if we make money or not. I had a great session last night and took a nice little NASDAQ scalp. Beautiful position and made about $230 on that. Fantastic. And today's a new day. We'll see what today brings. Maybe we'll make money, maybe we'll lose money. But we're going to show up, be consistent, and have a good motherfucking day. Let's go. First things first, let's hit you guys with a tour. So we have a nice little workstation there. And the facilities in all these Bangkok apartments are absolutely incredible. You know, from the workstations, the viewing platforms to, you know, the desks, the rooftop pool is just absolutely incredible. And this place that we stayed at, this was around £44 a night. And this was, you know, maybe in the higher end for somewhere like Thailand. You guys don't have to stay in somewhere expensive as £44 a night. You know, the longer you stay in these apartments, the cheaper it's going to be. But this one for us was just absolutely beautiful. And here, look, you could even watch me beating my girlfriend at football soccer. I don't know what this thing's called, but yeah, I beat my girlfriend at that, and it has one of them, so yeah, that's pretty fun. And then the swimming pool was just absolutely incredible. I have never stayed in such a nice rooftop pool. We had this beautiful viewing platform at the top where we sat, relaxed, and did a little bit of trading from, and then, you know, just coming up, dipping in this pool, and it was literally empty all the time. We had the entire thing to ourselves. And you know, there's one thing about Bangkok, it has absolutely incredible rooftop pools. The life of a trader's wife, what's it like?
I don't know, I pay for this
Alright guys, so we're back at the home setup, and apologies, the Thailand footage was just a little bit all over the place, trying to piece it together too much. I have lots of travel videos to come in Thailand, but for breaking down the costs, I thought let's do it back home on the computer and we can kind of break down everything a little bit more. Now for this example of how to become a travel trader, I'm going to be giving you guys the example of how to do it in Thailand. Obviously, I can't do it for every single country, but I will try and round up the costs as much as I can just so you guys can have a good idea as to how to do it. Now, I have traveled and traded for like over 3 years now, and I've been to many incredible places, some pretty expensive and some pretty cheap. So the way that I used to approach the countries and the costs that I would spend would kind of be dependent on my trading performance, and I would always kind of live off a bare minimum. And you know, if ever I had a good month, I would take out a withdrawal and I would upgrade the place where I was staying, or I would spend my money going to a new country. So I'll give you guys like kind of the bare minimum of what you would want to be aiming for. I'm going to break down some Airbnbs in Bangkok, Thailand, give you guys some estimated costs of food, drink, all that sort of thing. You know, excursions, stuff like that is just going to be completely dependent on everyone's situation. But for the most part, if you go to somewhere like Thailand, there's a lot to do for free. So I'm just going to give you guys the costs of accommodation, food, and then we'll kind of reverse engineer that into what capital you would need to sustain that lifestyle. Now, disclaimer, I am not going to run into the aspects of how to become a consistently profitable trader. That is not the purpose of this video. But obviously, you should not be taking the leap into full-time traveling and trading if you are not yet consistently making money. So let's just get that out of the way. I'm not going to teach you guys how to become a trader. You guys can watch the live streams and show up for them. I'm going to show you guys how I did it once I became consistent. Let's jump straight onto the screen here. The biggest expense when traveling and trading is going to be your accommodation. Now, depending on how long you're maybe going to whichever country for, will be dependent on which site you'll want to use. Now, for the most part, I'm pretty much always using Airbnb for the places that I stay. But don't get me wrong, there has been times in my upcoming journey where I have stayed at some very questionable places just because I was grinding out so hard. But for you guys who want to go travel and trade in Thailand, for example, in terms of to get a pretty nice condo, you know, with Wi-Fi, rooftop pool, in Thailand, it's amazing because it's not really going to cost you that much. So you can get a pretty incredible apartment here. You know, you got the rooftop infinity pool, amazing facilities for you to work and trade at. This is the reason I love Thailand so much. You know, look at these, all these workstations. You know, you've got all these rooftop pools, you've got little gaming centers, swimming pool. Everything is absolutely amazing. And apartment like this in Thailand is going to cost you, see, this one's around 675 Australian dollars a month. And then I found this other one, which again is still great. You know, it's got everything you need in an apartment. It's still got a rooftop pool. You've even got a gym. You know, you've got the workstations to do work on your laptop, you know, trade. And this one here is going to cost you around 550 Australian dollars. Now, I'm going to round up an average. You know, I've just taken these two, 675, this one, 550. So let's just call it 600 Australian dollars a month. Actually, ignore me. Let's do this in US dollars because I imagine most people who are trading in US dollars. So let's just do 600 Australian dollars. So 600 Australian dollars is going to be 380 US dollars. Let's, again, I'm going to be more conservative. Let's just round that up to, let's call it 400. 400 US dollars for accommodation for the entire month. Now, this is just me looking at some dates in next year in March time. And, you know, you're typically going to spend minimum, I'm going to say 400. You know, obviously you can spend more if you have great months, like I say. If you want to have more savings, you know, you can afford to increase the budget and spend a little bit more on accommodation and get a little bit more of a nicer place. But as a bare minimum for still, you know, an apartment with a rooftop pool, gym, great working facilities, $400 a month in Bangkok, Thailand. Food is going to be completely dependent on everyone and the places you go to eat. Now, in Thailand, you can eat in incredible, beautiful, like sky-highs rooftop restaurants, or you can do the complete opposite and you can eat at some street food places, which are actually, you know, is still as good as eating at a restaurant. Now, if you eat at some street food, it's probably going to cost you anywhere between, you know, 80 to 100 Thai baht. If you want to eat at a restaurant, you may be spending up to like 200 to 300 and so on. So let's just, again, it's going to be different for everyone, so it's hard to say, but let's go for a conservative and let's just say you spend 150 baht per meal, food and a drink. Sometimes more, sometimes less. So you're going to be spending around 425 US dollars per meal. Again, let's round that up. Let's just call it 450. So we're going to do 450 times by 3 is 13, you know, 3 meals a day. And this is all eating out as well, times that by, you know, 30 days in the month. You're going to spend pretty much the same as what you're going to spend on accommodation as food. $400. This is the minimum. You could spend much more, but you could afford to live in Thailand spending, you know, $400 to $500 a month on food. You know what? Let's give yourself a net, because people are going to comment and say, no, it's impossible. Like I'm telling you, you cannot beat Thailand many times. Let's just up it another $100 US dollars, $500 of food. So these are going to be the two biggest costs when becoming a travel trader. Accommodation, where you're going to sleep, where you're going to work, and food, how you're going to eat, and basically how you're going to live. Now, in terms of flights, stuff like that, again, it's going to be completely dependent on where you go. You can budget for that as well, but I'm just going to be breaking down the costs of accommodation and food. Now, you know what? I'm just going to round it up. Let's call it 1,000. I'm going to be over budgeting than anything. To live in Thailand for a month, you could be living on less than $1,000. Obviously, you're going to want to buy SIM cards. You're going to spend a little bit of money on travel, stuff like that. So let's include that as well, just for the sake of over budgeting a little bit. So let's just say travel expenses, SIM cards, not sure what else you'd really need. You know, you got gym in the accommodation, excursions, that's completely dependent on everyone else. But let's just say $200 a month minimum, 1,200 per month to live comfortably as a travel trader. If we think back into trading terms as a percentage game, let's be very conservative as well as to how much we make from trading each month. And if I say, because I did this in another video and people say, what about losing months? If I say I'm going to be conservative trading, and this is conservative, trading returns, this is very conservative, 305%, 3 to 5% per month. And again, this is including winning months, and this is including losing. Some months you're going to make 7 to 8. Some you may make 2 to 3. Some months you may make -2, -3. On average, we're going to say that you do 3 to 5% per month. Now, if you have a 100K funded account, and if you make 3 to 5% a month, that's going to be 3,000 to 1,000 per month. Okay, then you obviously go, you have profit splits, stuff like that. You guys can go work that out. It's going to be different for every single prop firm. Making 3 to 5% per month on a 100K account, you're going to be making from anywhere between 3 to 5,000 a month. If you have a 50K account, then 1,500 to 2,500. If you have a 200K account, 6,000 to 10,000 a month. Now, when I first took the leap into my travel trading journey, I waited till 1, I was consistent, until 2, I had a funded account. So I had gained that consistency. I proved to myself that I could trade consistently. I earned that funded account, and I also was trading personal capital at the time as well, which was good for me to have that kind of mental, kind of like savings account that at any point I could access and take some out there. So at the time when I took the leap, I think I was trading with around £5,000 personal account. For me, I traded that with a smaller size, swing trading, bigger moves, but it was more so like a savings account for me and like a backup that, you know, if for whatever reason prop firm won't pay me out, or the prop firm goes under and I have nothing and I don't want to be solely relying just on funded accounts, I have that to trade and I also have that to use. This is if you need a minimum of 1,200 a month, that should be the bare cushion that if you come out negative on a month, you should easily be making on a good month at least triple what your normal expenses would be. So if you want to become a travel trader, the bare minimum you are going to need is 100K account. I would say you're still going to need more than that. I would say you would need at least 2 to 3 funded accounts in case a freak accident happens and you lose one of the accounts. If you rely on that one trading account and something bad happens, which is very possible, and you lose that trading account and then you all of a sudden have no sources of income from trading, you are going to be fucked. And you don't want to do that. Either have another account that's personal, be working towards another funded account. You know, when I pursued my travel trading dreams, I went with that funded account. I had my personal, but then once I was actually free and in that good environment, I was able to then scale that up and gain more funded accounts, keep passing challenges, failed some challenges, but keep pushing to gain more. I didn't think I've got this one funded account, let me just trade that and life is good. No, I was in this environment to work my ass off even more and to acquire more capital and to keep pushing to become a better trader. So I would say at a bare minimum, you should have at least either a personal account or 200,000 in funded accounts across more than one account. Because if you think at a bare minimum, if you only need $1,200 for your accommodation for the month, food for the month, expenses, you could say to yourself, well, I only really need a 50K account, which is, yeah, it's true. But if that is your only account and that's going to be your only source of income, you're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself to have to make that bare minimum every single month. Like I say, some months you're going to have -2%. Some months you're going to have +8%. Some months you may even have -5%. I don't know. I personally don't go into that big a drawdown, but when you start out, it's very, very possible. It's very possible that you may even blow the account and lose it because the pressure's getting to you. You have to take into factor that these things can happen. So let me just clean these up, and let's just say we want to go for a bare minimum of a 200,000 funded account. Now, if you make 1% a month on that funded account, that's going to be $2,000 minus profit splits. And you should already be consistently making more than 1% a month to be able to pursue this dream. You need to be at least making, on average, 3 to 5% a month consistently over a long period of time. Not just, you know, last month you made 5%, I'm going to quit my job and go travel trade. No. You need much more data than that. So at a bare minimum, if you could make 3 to 5%, 3%, 6,000, 5%, 10,000, and let's say you do, you know, in 1 month, you absolutely smash 5% in a month, you make $10,000, you get your profit splits, you get 8,000 in your bank, whatever it may be. That can also then be a nice cushion for you to either put into your personal account or put into your spendings account. And, you know, that's going to be my accommodation for the next 6 months paid for, or that's going to be my next plane ticket for the next few months. That's how I approached it. You know, if I had a good payout, put a little bit into my personal and then spend the rest on my adventures, either staying at a nicer place or using that to book the next month's worth of Airbnbs, or keep living below my means and have that cushion as a backup. At any point I can use this to either extend my travels or have an emergency fund, i.e. my personal capital. So this is just based off Thailand. Obviously, every other countries are going to be completely different. The main things you want to work out is the accommodation, the food, and then reverse engineer it into what account size you would need, and then reverse it into a percentage game, because that's all trading ever is. So if you want to go live in Dubai, you're going to need a lot more than 1,200 a month. You want to be making at least, I don't know, 5,000 to 10,000 a month. So you want to have much larger capital behind you. But for me, once I did take that leap, it gave me the freedom and it gave me the hunger and happiness to push harder at my trading. And when I took the leap into full-time travel and trading, like over 3 years ago now, it was one of the best things that I have ever done in my trading career and in life. And I highly encourage people to do it as well. I'll break down some of the figures and some of the data that you guys will need as well. And like I say, I'm being very conservative in the returns that you need on average, 3 to 5%. I think once you unlock the skill, you master your craft, you gain that consistency, scaling your trading to 3 to 5% is very conservative. Now, in my data, let's just take a look at the past 3 months, and these are the things that you need to start journaling, proving to yourself that you can do consistently before you can take that leap. If we take a look at August, and my journal here is based off 150k account on Top Step, 10 contracts per trade. You know, on average in August, the maximum loss I took was minus $400. That as a percentage is like just under like 0.3%. You know, minus $200, minus $200, plus 3, plus 20, 2,000, 1,300. So for the total month of August, which is a very quiet month, you know, 10 contracts, $6,000. In July, we took a loss here of minus 1%. And then at the very start of the month, you know, minus 13 ticks, you know, minus 1,300. Call it minus 1% as well. And then still ended the month up 137 ticks, 10 contracts, $13,000. That's only with a 150k account. Now, June, again, you know, biggest loss in June was minus $700. So again, less than 1%. Total risk in June, almost just over minus 2% risk for the entire month. Again, coming out of June, you know, with 134 ticks in profit, understanding my win rate, my wins, my losses, my break evens, my ticks, journaling this and proving this to yourself to work out how much you would need. And this is only with, you know, trading 10 contracts on a 150k account. I could be trading 15 contracts on the futures markets if I really wanted to, across many different accounts. You know, with Top Step, I could be trading, you know, up to 450,000. So across 3 accounts, that's 30 contracts times all of these figures by 3. All of a sudden, it doesn't seem so outrageous to be able to consistently make 3 to 5% a month. But you have to be doing that as a bare minimum. That's also including the losing months. That's just an average throughout the entire year. But once you do gain that consistency, taking the leap into full-time traveling and trading isn't as far of a reach as you may think. You just need that consistency. All it is in trading is consistency and then scalability. To become a full-time travel trader, you could travel the world making 1,500 to 2,000 and live pretty well in some low cost level, but also beautiful countries. So if you guys do have any questions, you know, with these whole figures breakdown, I'm sure there's parts that I've missed or parts that you guys still have questions about. Leave them below. I'll either answer your questions or we'll make a part 2 of this kind of how to become a travel trader series and break down as much as I can for you guys. I hope this has just opened your eyes to the fact that, you know, it is possible. It isn't that far out of reach. And I really hope some of you guys do take the leap, because we have in the community 2 people in like next month, I believe, taking the leap into full-time traveling and trading, which is just absolutely incredible to see people taking the same road that I took, you know, over 3 years ago now. If you did enjoy this video, remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Any questions, leave them below and we'll do a part 2 soon. Peace.